What do people think they're supporting when they say they support domestic vaccine passports in Canada? I think we need to break the issue down a little bit more because there's some nuances, some possibilities that aren't really being discussed that I think if they were discussed more, it might temper people's enthusiasm for the domestic vaccine passports. So first of all, we have a recent Nanos research poll that reports that 53% of respondents in Canada, they say, yep, they're supportive of a domestic passport, vaccine passport. Then you got about another 20% that say they are somewhat supportive of it, whatever that means. And then you've got 16% of people who say flat out opposed. Okay, how does that mix up with the actual vaccination rates in Canada? Well, we've got just over 80% of people who have received one dose, what they call a first dose, and then you've got just over 70% of people who are double dosed, what they call fully vaccinated. All right, that's interesting already, because while you've got 70% of people, yes, fully vaccinated, only 53% of respondents in this poll say that, all right, I support this domestic vaccine passport. It's kind of interesting. I've seen a couple news stories actually refer to people who don't support the passport as anti-vaxxers, but that doesn't really work. That's kind of crossing things a little bit there, because clearly there are people who are vaccinated, either just one dose or they're double vaccinated, and they do not support the vaccine passport. So it's kind of interesting that the vaccination rate is higher than the support for the vaccine passport. Now, I think a number of people who say, yes, I support the vaccine passport, might be saying that just because they've got 2 doses of the vaccine, they feel like they're covered, and really to them, the vaccine passport is just, well, do you support the government giving 2 thumbs up to the choice that you have made, giving 2 thumbs up and validating and endorsing the decision you've made and kind of authenticating it and so forth. I think a lot of people probably think that way. But what if you ask these people who have these 2 doses, do you support a vaccine passport that, coming up in a few months or whenever, is for 3 doses? Basically, you'll only get to do all of these things if you have this booster shot, because this conversation is already in the mix. I don't know to what degree it's going to be pushed, to what degree it'll be mandated, but when we talk about, what's the next step, lots of conversations about a booster shot, about a 3rd dose. So if the polling question actually said, do you support a vaccine passport for 3 doses? People are like, what? I thought this was it. I thought I was done. Now you're bringing in this new passport that I actually haven't gotten the shot for. I'm not sure the timing of the shot. When will the timing of the passport overlap with the availability for my shot? And I think people might get a little nervous there, because let's be honest, once you start this domestic vaccine passport, it's something of a Pandora's box. I mean, the sort of requirements for it, that could change, I suppose, based on booster shots. Is this going to be something that one needs to get an annual shot for? We don't really know yet, but will that actually be something included to make your vaccine passport valid? And on a related note, one other thing that someone I was speaking to, they said to me, what's the big deal? I mean, I'm not in love with this idea of the vaccine passport. If we just have to do it for a year or 2, so be it. Okay, but is that the promise? I mean, we hear no conversations about exit clauses, sunset clauses right now. So we're saying, let's bring in this domestic vaccine passport. I'm not hearing the people proposing it say a 1-year passport, a 2-year passport. Israel, interestingly enough, brought in this green card thing to try and get vaccination rates up, and they felt like it was successful, and now they've removed it. So Israel actually got rid of, at least for now, their vaccine passport. Okay, good to see, but is that what we're talking about here in Canada? I don't know. There's been no caveats put on the table in the polling questions and in the way politicians are musing on the idea. So maybe some people say, yeah, I'm supportive of it for the 2 doses. Is it for the 2 doses though? Will it be turned into a vaccine passport for the booster shot? So meaning for 3 doses, and then how does that change people's opinions on it? And then also, is this for a year? Is this for 2 years, or is it just there and it's sticking around until whenever, until 10 years, until forever? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. And I think those sort of nuances, they just need to be part of the conversation and put them out there. People are going to have different opinions on them. I don't know what the answers are eventually going to be, but let's not kid ourselves that there are not these different moving parts to the domestic vaccine passport conversation right here in Canada.